Daisy Duke. If you were a teenage boy in the 80s, just saying the name of Bo and Luke Duke's kind and beautiful cousin will undoubtedly fill your mind with a number of images from that decade long since passed by. For 7 years, Catherine Bach played the somewhat naive and trusting Daisy Duke. When she wasn't racing around Hazard County in her Jeep, Daisy was a waitress at the Boar's Nest who aspired to make it big in the music industry. Just perusing a few of the comments made by YouTube fans on some of the other videos about her, it's relatively easy to see the impact that Catherine's performance had on a generation of young men. So when Catherine Bach arrived at the audition for the Dukes of Hazzard, she found out that the producers, well, they were more or less looking for someone who looked an awful lot like Dolly Parton. So, despite not resembling Ms. Parton in any way, she was still hired on the spot. And it was actually her idea to go with the short shorts and the high heels. Believe it or not, the producers wanted her to wear a tight white turtleneck, go-go boots, and a poodle skirt. And while they may have been off on some of the costuming ideas that they had for her character, they did have a great idea in that the producers suggested that Catherine pose for a Daisy Duke poster, which, due to the popularity of the show and her character, sold over 5 million copies. In fact, during the Dukes of Hazzard, at its heyday, her character was so popular that Catherine Bach's legs were insured for $1 million. So there you go. Her role in Cannonball Run 2 was a fun one as well. Yep, she and Susan Anton made a pretty good team. So what do you think? Was Daisy one of your favorite Dukes of Hazzard characters? If so, let me know in the comment section, and while you're at it, I would appreciate a thumbs up if you enjoyed this video, and what the heck, why not subscribe to the channel? I talk about music, movies, and television, mostly from the 50s, 60s, 70s, and 80s. You know, the good stuff. But most importantly, and as always, thank you so much for watching.
Feast your eyes on that big world outside. It's a fact. Step out and don't look back. This is the time for having fun. You're never too old. Come on and follow me. I've got things to show you. Let yourself go. Relax and then before you know
Alright, I will admit that Buck Rogers in the 25th Century may never go down in the history books as one of television's finest moments. But if you were a sci-fi obsessed teenager in the late 70s, like me, you were most likely a fan of the show. Sure, it wasn't Star Wars, but it wasn't trying to be an epic in the same way that Battlestar Galactica had been. Instead, this was a show that was focused on fun. Even before Buck Rogers debuted on NBC in the fall of 1979, I had already gotten my first taste of what was to come via the feature film that had been released earlier in the year. I still remember going to our local theater with my father to see the movie. I was so excited because he was usually a stickler about only seeing G-rated movies, and Buck Rogers, much like Star Wars before it, was rated PG. Not sure why the old man decided to take me to it, but hey, I wasn't arguing. And let me just say that the movie did not disappoint. The story of a man out of time, the pretty decent special effects, the awesome space battles, and of course, Wilma Deering and Princess Ardala. Yep, this movie had everything. So once I realized that this movie was going to be a weekly TV series, I was pretty sure that this series would be the greatest thing since Star Wars. Heck, it almost made me forget about how sad I'd been to see ABC cancel Battlestar Galactica after just one season. And you know what? The show was pretty dang cool. Lots of wonderful guest stars made an appearance during that first season, including the always amazing Jack Palance in an episode titled Planet of the Slave Girls. You really think that I was going to miss that episode? Jamie Lee Curtis, Roddy McDowell, Marky Post, and even the original Buck Rogers, Buster Crabbe, showed up and gave their all during Season 1. And yes, while there were a couple of episodes that weren't that great, the fact that Princess Ardala, played by Pamela Hensley, made multiple appearances, well, caused me to have a very forgiving heart. And there was also the Batman connection. What, you say? You aren't aware of the Batman connection? Well, for whatever reason, it seemed like the show was bound and determined to invite actors who had portrayed Batman's major villains in the 1966 TV series into the 25th century. During that first season, we had Cesar Romero, Julie Newmar, and Frank Gorshin. Well, they all guest starred on the show. Yep, the Joker, Catwoman, and the Riddler. As a big fan of the Batman TV series, those casting decisions, well, they put me in seventh heaven. So how much of that was due to Season 1 producer Glenn A. Larson? Truthfully, I don't know. Along with Leslie Stevens, it does seem like Glenn was heavily involved in the series, which came from his production company. It seems like Glenn took the lessons that he learned from Battlestar Galactica and turned Buck Rogers into something very different. But most importantly, he made sure that it had a keen sense of fun. Ardala, wherever you went, my princess, I hope you at long last found a loving and truly evil partner to rule the cosmos with. Share your memories in the comments section below, and while you're at it, why not subscribe to my channel? I talk about music, movies, and television, mostly from the 60s, 70s, and 80s. You know, the good stuff. But most importantly, and as always, thank you so much for watching.
Hey, you guys! I say this calls for action, and now, nip it in the bud.
Michelle Pfeiffer? The only true Catwoman is Julie Newmar, Lee Merriweather, or Eartha Kitt. And I didn't need molded plastic to improve my physique. Pure West.
Good morning, angels.
Good morning, Charlie.
I love it when a plan comes together.
It's time. Let's talk about music, movies, and mostly television from the 50s, 60s, 70s, and 80s. You know, the good stuff.
The Livestream Code and Rating Administration has rated this online event PG. All ages admitted. Please be kind and stay on topic.
Good evening to one and all, and welcome to the Good Stuff Live. Deep from the heart of retro, my name is Dave Sundstrom, and well, if you enjoy talking about music, movies, mostly television from the 50s, 60s, 70s, and 80s, from decades gone by, well, you've come to the right place. So we've got lots of folks already here. 64 people are watching us right now. Most of them are, from what I can tell, conversing in the chat, which I just absolutely love to see. I do have a little bit of business that I need to take care of, which is that I've got 3 executive producers tonight, folks that ponied up threw super chats at me even before the live stream started, and for that I am grateful. My executive producers this evening are Lance Cheffin, Kevin Connor, and Emily Miller. Thank you so much for the super chats. Like I said, truly appreciate it. That little bit of extra bit of support is, well, it just means the world to me. Now, also, I've got a brand new thank you video. I put together a video on the channel about Christina Applegate and Amy Adams. Amy had to apologize to Christina not too long ago for something that she did to Christina, not once, not twice, but over 300 times. If you haven't seen the video, watch it. But while I was working on the video, I put together a little thank you video, something that I could share with my supporters, and in particular, my executive producers tonight. So let me pull that on up. There we go. Thank you for your support. Lance, Kevin, Emily, truly appreciated. All right, tonight we are talking about 1979, and I've been watching the chat as I've been getting everything ready, as I played those first few videos, and it seems like folks have a lot of really fond memories about 1979. Here's what we're going to do tonight. We're going to talk about TV. We're going to then talk about movies. And then I'm going to give away tonight, I'm going to give away this fine DVD, Superman the movie, which came out in December of 1978, but it was 1979's top grossing movie at the box office. So that's the connection with 1979. I've also got I've got some information from the fine folks over at Remind Magazine. They actually spotlighted 1979 in their latest issue, in the June 2020 issue of that June 2022 issue of that magazine. And it's kind of what inspired me to put together this live stream tonight. So I'm going to share a little bit of the information from there as well. But first and foremost, I want to welcome folks. And then I see I've got another super chat that I need to acknowledge in just a moment here. But let me say hi to the folks that are in the chat that have been talking since, as far as I can tell, holy cow, since maybe like an hour ago. 82 people are with me right now. Wow, that's really awesome. Thank you for joining me for an hour plus of just retro nostalgia fun. So first off, Daryl Johnston, as always, thanks for reminding folks to hit that like button. And of course, if you haven't subscribed to the channel, please do that as well. We've also got Mike Silva here. Butch Schumpf, haven't seen you for a while. Great to have you with us tonight. Super fan Zuperplex is in town, or in the chat. Ravenscroft 82 is here. Tom, the Hungry Jerk, is here. Lance Chaffin, as I mentioned, is here. Steve Tevis, a.k.a. The Life and Sad Ending, wonderful channel. Good to have you with us as well. Adrian James, superfan Tracy Roth-Myers, superfan Emily Miller, Kenneth Wilkinson, Tresh Pondopons. I say trash. It's not trash. It's thrash pondopons. Cindy D, Dolph Quick. Let's see. Superfan Dave Claroni. He said hi to Superfan Tracy Rothmeyers, but I'll say it again just in case I didn't. Kevin Davis, Superfan Kevin Davis is here. Let's see. Terrell Eugene Bellinger. Always a treat to have you with us in the live stream, in the chat, Terrell. Let's see. Who else is here? That may be it as far as James Dye's in the chat as well. Jay Trace says, I really enjoyed seeing Buster Crabbe guest star in Buck Rogers. Boy, did I ever too. That was a treat. Let's see. Looking to see. Robot B9 is with us. Welcome, Robot B9. Scrolling as fast as I can. Well, don't want to forget anybody, but obviously there's a point where I just have to stop. We have to move on. And Larry Moore's here. Welcome, Larry. Good to have you with us. Gary Carpenter's here. Infoman's here. Gina Cupuano's here. Danny Staten, greetings from Kaysville to South Carolina. Lamont Bradford is here. Shannon Burns is here. Al Oduwardi, always a treat to have you with us. Superfan Dominic D is here. Superfan Jill Carter is here. I'm glad there are a lot of superfans with us tonight. That's important. I wanted to remind all of the superfans. Those are folks that are, ponying up the extra. It's $2 a month to be a superfan. You get exclusive access to videos ahead of time. Some videos that just never see the light of day. You guys get to see, the superfans get to see. And we do have usually about once or twice every 3 months, we have a superfan only social. That is this Sunday. Let me go ahead and pull that up on the screen. We can talk about the $6 Million Man if you want, folks. We can talk about whatever you want. The Superfan Sunday Social will just be you, me, hanging out, visiting. It's an exclusive group. There's like 40 some odd superfans right now of the channel that are paying $2 extra a month. And it's the very least I can do is put together some time where we can just visit and have a more intimate conversation. So if you're interested in doing that, you can click the join button below any of the videos that I have on my channel. All right. So I've welcomed a lot of folks. I did see another super chat in here. Let me see if I can find that. I know it was from Kevin Davis, I believe. And I can't find it right now. Gosh darn it. There it is. It's a super sticker. Thank you so much, Kevin. Truly appreciate it. Love the support. I hope you enjoy tonight's live stream. And let me throw a little Grimly your way. I know he's a post 1979, but he's one of my favorites. And then we'll throw some Spidey there your way too.
Someone is trying to embarrass me.
Thank you so much, Kevin. I truly appreciate your support. Hopefully I'll see you on Sunday, as well as I am hoping to see new member Butch Schumpf, new superfan Butch Schumpf on Sunday when we have our superfan social. So welcome, Butch. Hopefully you enjoy being a superfan of the channel. I certainly appreciate the support very much. Thank you so much. And let's do this. Let's start here. I'm going to play a video. 1979 for me, when I think about television, 1979, ABC was still at the top of the, they seemed to have the shows. And so I'm going to start us off on this conversation with a quick promo from 1979. This one's a little long. It's about 6 minutes long. We may not go that long. I may stop it because I want to talk with all of you and get your thoughts about TV in 1979. I saw a lot of folks talked about Buck Rogers, but there were some other great shows on the tube in 1979. But let's start with this.
Tuesday, Fonzie makes a promise he'll never be able to keep.
I'm going 24 hours without a kiss.
On happy days.
When you're hot, you're hot.
Then Brad walks out on Angie and she tries to shake her blues.
Nobody's perfect.
And Jack's job as a gigolo makes Chrissy red hot with envy.
I've been waiting for you to come home.
On Three's Company, then Alex's snooty sister visits Taxi.
Would you care to wait in my office?
I'd rather be the only woman on a Greek freighter.
It's all right here on Channel 9.
Tuesday on the Lazarus Syndrome, the patient is Joe Hamill's ex-wife, and she's dying. Wednesday on 8 is Enough, wedding bells ring twice for the Bradfords when Susan marries her pitcher and David weds the girl of his dreams. Then Charlie's Angels keep on trucking to run down some hijackers. And on the season premiere of Vegas, Dan hunts the strip ripper. Thursday, Laverne steals Carmine from Shirley and teaches him the facts of life. Then,
If you weren't a woman, I'd...
Take your best shot.
it's Benson.
It smells good enough to eat.
It's not for you. It's for the dogs.
I just loved the music that went with all of those ABC, whether it was the Sunday night movie or the Tuesday night movie. The music that they had going, just it got me so excited for whatever show was on. And some of those TV movies back then, they were definitely not the quality of your theatrical feature films, but they were something unique in and of themselves. And I really enjoyed those movies. So we saw a lot of shows. As I mentioned, I'm taking the inspiration tonight from Remind Magazine. They focused on 1979 for every month. They have a particular year that they have kind of a spotlight section on. Here's a little bit of interesting information. The cost of living in 1979 was the median yearly income, I should say, what someone made on average was $19,587. Minimum wage was $2.90. It cost you $62,000 to buy a home. Postage stamp was 15 cents. Movie ticket was $2.51. McDonald's hamburgers, just 38 cents. And here, folks, I know this is the one that's painful right now for all of us. So painful. A gallon of gas in 1979 was 86 cents. So, yeah, what a change. You get a can of Campbell's tomato soup for 10 cents. And if you sent your kids to college, it would cost $3,167 for all 4 years. That's all, just for inflation and things aren't that out of whack. I imagine inflation would be 2.5, 3 times what it is now. So, but there certainly are some things that we're all feeling right now boy, wouldn't it be great to get back to 3.5 or even $4 a gallon gas? That would be super. So anyway, talking about TV, they've got a section on that too. Top TV and then television series premieres and finales. The top TV shows in 1979 were 60 Minutes, Three's Company, Alice, MASH, Dallas. Now I said ABC was at the top of the charts. That might have been in Dave Sundstrom's head because listen to this. There was Alice, MASH, Dallas, The Jeffersons, The Dukes of Hazzard, One Day at a Time, Archie Bunker's Place, and then 8 is Enough was an ABC show. But a lot of CBS shows in there along with Three's Company and 8 is Enough. Nothing from NBC in the top 10 that year. But there were some TV premieres that gave NBC, well, at least one show. The Facts of Life debuted in 1979. Of course, that went on to have a tremendous run. And then a show that's near and dear to my heart, and we will watch more videos after the live stream tonight during the after party. I'll play at least one more Buck Rogers video, maybe two, because Buck Rogers debuted in 1979 on NBC. So they were starting to get their mojo back, but also Hello Larry debuted in 1979. So Battlestar Galactica was canceled in 79. And Starsky and Hutch had its finale. Welcome Back, Kotter ended. Good Times ended. And Wonder Woman ended in 1979 as well. And All in the Family. That was the last season for All in the Family. Of course, it morphed into Archie Bunker's Place. So let me see what folks are saying. John McJunkin says, welcome to 1979, Dave. And Larry Moore says, but Friday, them Duke boys, aren't you? Fridays were the best. You had the Duke boys, and you also had the Incredible Hulk. Let's see. Zuperplex is talking about movies. Yes, The Black Hole was a 1979 film. Lance Chaffin is very angry right now, so we're going to just let him be angry and keep moving on. Kevin Davis, superfan Kevin Davis, points out both the Dukes, and Hulk, the Hulk. Let's see. Mike Silva talks about The Electric Company and Bionic Woman being shows that he enjoyed in 1979. Ravencroft said The Hulk rocked. It sure did. What a great adaptation. It wasn't too comic booky, but it had enough of the elements of the comic book that really made it fun. I do not know, Thrash Pondo, if Kingdom of Spiders was in 79. Look it up and let us know. Let's see. What other comments about 79 do we have here? Let's see. Yes, superfan Dominic D points out that the Dukes of Hazzard started in 1979. Let's see. What else do we have? Oh, here we go. Carl Smith says Benson originally aired in 79. I thought it originally aired in the early 80s. That might be, that's possible. That I'm not sure when Benson actually debuted, and it's possible that actual preview was just misstated. Let's see what else we said. Inferman says Electric Company Spider-Man used to talk in word balloons. Yes, he did. It was one of the ways that, it's a really cool story. Marvel donated the intellectual property of Spider-Man to PBS, to the Children's Television Workshop, so that he could be incorporated into their programming, and they chose to put him in the Electric Company. And, I think they really got a ton more viewers because of that, and the way they did it. They had no money for special effects, so it was really low budget, but it was still a lot of fun. And boy, oh boy, did I watch the Electric Company, probably past the age that I should have, just to see Spider-Man. AZDH85224 says, okay, let's move on from begging for money. Oh, I'm so sorry, AHD85224. Here's the deal. I appreciate those people that support my efforts as a creator here on the channel. And if they do it through a super chat or becoming members of the channel, I am appreciative and will always express that appreciation. So if that bothers you, I'm sorry. Let's see. Let's keep moving on. Terrell Eugene Bellinger says, Kevin Hart, Tiffany Haddish, Jordan Peele, Jennifer Love Hewitt, Oscar Isaac. Just saw him in Moon Knight. And Natasha Lyonne were all born in 79. Awesome. Superfan Jill Carter says she loved Dallas, and superfan Tracy Rothmeyer says that she loved Angie. I'll let you in on a secret, Tracy Rothmeyers. I loved Angie as well. Cindy D says Knots Landing started in 79. Let's see. And let's see what else we've got. Superfan Superplex says Joan Hackett. Not sure what that is about. Ken Murphy says I totally forgot about Angie. Yeah. Great show. Awesome first season. And then it wasn't that it became horrible, but it just lost a little bit of its mojo during the second season. And I don't believe it had a third season. It might have gotten canceled at the end of the second season. Let's see. Let's keep moving on. Superfan Kevin Davis says crush on Erin Gray. There were a lot of folks that had a crush on Erin Gray. Karen Lee Maloney says, oops, I'm late. Well, welcome, Karen Lee. It is so good to have you here. Hang on one second. I'm getting an urgent message. Okay. That is fine. Let's see what else we got here going. So we are going to talk about music here in a little bit. So I'm flash that on the screen, but I'm going to take it off because that might be part of our music trivia. Jay Trace says, I went to the convenience store and told the clerk I wanted $10 worth of gas, and he said that'll be 20. That is funny. I'm glad you're able to tell jokes about it. Hey, it's one dude. Good to have you here. Let's see. Oh, Thrash Pondo says that talking to Daryl Johnston, loved The Prisoner, as did I. And I think I probably watched The Prisoner in 1979 because it had a second run on PBS, and that's my dad was watching it, and so I watched it with him. Great stuff with Patrick McGowan. All right. Let me keep moving. Yes, Adrian James points out that John Wayne passed away in 1979. And speaking of that, let's see. Again, let's go to Remind Magazine. I believe we have the celebrity deaths here. Died in 1979, Ted Cassidy. Of course, we know him as Lurch. He was also the second Bigfoot after Andre the Giant on the $6 Million Man and the Bionic Woman, and the narrator for The Incredible Hulk. And he actually tried out for The Incredible Hulk, and they went a different direction with Lou Ferrigno, and rightfully so. I don't think he had the mass to be the Incredible Hulk, although he was a giant of a man. Great comment. Sid Vicious passed away, if you're a fan of the Sex Pistols or punk rock. Arthur Fiedler passed away in 79. Zeppo Marx, one of the Marx brothers. Joan Blondell, maybe that was the comment earlier about her passing away in 79. So lots of folks. Mary Pickford, Nelson Rockefeller. Lots of folks passed away in 79. Popular toys, 1979. The Atari 400. Handheld electronic games. Did any of you guys have the Mattel football or Mattel baseball? Or the Coleco versions were pretty good too. The Farrah Fawcett Glamour Center for you young ladies. Speak and Spell. I had a Speak and Spell. The Pachinko Pinball Machine, and Star Wars spaceships and figurines. Awesome. Love Remind Magazine. Let's see. Oh, yeah, Butch Schumpf. Super fan Butch Schumpf says NBC was baking on Super Train in 1979. 1979, Fred Silverman had moved on over from ABC, where he was treated as a wonderkind, a genius who took the network to the top of the ratings, and moved to NBC. And he was banking on a lot of shows, including Hello Larry, Super Train, Cliffhangers. None of them panned out. And Fred's run at NBC was relatively short because of that. Terrell Eugene Bellinger asks, isn't R.G. Bunker's Place a sequel spinoff to All in the Family? It sure is. Sure is. All right, I know I'm moving way too slow. Here we go. Danny Staten, thank you for looking this up. 1979 for Benson. Awesome. And in DJ Elsner, welcome to the live stream, and cartoons were awesome in 79. We've got a lot to tackle tonight. Again, I love all these comments about the great TV shows that were on in 79, but we're going to move to movies in just a moment. But I want to remind folks, speaking of movies, that in a little while, I will be giving away this copy. It's an expanded version of Superman the movie, not the 3-hour TV version, but a true Richard Donner's director's cut of Superman the movie. Debuted in December of 78, but Superman was the top film, box office-wise, in 79 in the United States. All right. So let's do this. Go ahead and take that comment off the screen. And thanks so much to everybody for all the great comments. Dominic D, superfan Dominic D says Debra Lee Scott was great on Angie Cotter and Mary Hartman. Boy, wasn't she awesome. I've got a video on her. And if you stick around for the after party, I'll play it. It's one of my favorite videos that I've ever made, and love to share it with you all after, during our after party. All right, so let's move on to movies. Let me go ahead and go over here. And also at the after party, I'm going to let Siskel and Ebert share their top 10 flicks for the year. But you know what? They're not going to be the same as the top 10 movies. There's a little bit of crossover, but when we're talking about box office and kind of general audience, the top 10 movies are very different from Siskel and Ebert's picks. So here are the top 10 movies from 1979. And then after we get done watching this video, we'll go ahead and we'll talk a little bit about movies. I want to know what your favorite movies were. All right, we are back. So I've got some comments I want to go through, but I want to hear. Let me ask, just go ahead and in the chat, go ahead and put your hands down, your favorite movie from 1979. Let us know what it is. And while you are doing that, I'm going to look at some other comments and share them with the group. Like I said, what an engaged audience I have tonight. 110 people here in the chat. Andy Miller says, Super Friends and Superman the movie. Loved Super Friends. Debuted in 73. was one of the longest running cartoons, much like Scooby-Doo. It spanned decades, various iterations of the show. Love it. And for me, that's probably one of my all-time favorite cartoons. John Collins asks, Dave, are we doing a contest for Retro Fan Magazine tonight? No, we're going to do the Superman DVD tonight. Next week will be Retro Fan, and it will be the new issue that is going to be out. I think it's is it the July issue? I think they're every other month. And Julie Newmar is on the cover. All right. Superfan Superplex says The Prisoner was actually from the 60s. Yes, it was. It's a British show, but they played it during the late 70s on PBS. Terrell Eugene Bellinger says Nickelodeon was launched in 79. Did not realize that. Thanks for sharing, Terrell. Superfan Mike and Kathy said saw Superman in the movie theater, as did I. I saw it in the Villa movie theater. It was one of those grand, regal movie theaters where there was just one screen. It was huge, and what an experience that was. I actually watched it twice. I loved that movie so much when it came out. Anyone remember Pink Lady and Jeff? Sure do. Those ladies could not speak a lick of English in reality, and so poor Jeff Altman was left to really carry the show. Maximus Prime says, All in the Family ended for me when Mike and Gloria moved away. I agree that they were integral to the success of that show. James Dice says, I have a bunch of video games and computers from back then. I collect them. Do you have, I know it's not from 79, but do you have an Amiga? I love the Amiga computer. I had an Amiga 1000, Amiga 500, and an Amiga 600. Sold them all, and I'm kicking myself for that. Just passing through says Mattel Football, Little Professor Calculator, Digital Derby, and a few others from Radio Shack. Larry Moore says those portable games are in a box at my parents' house in the basement. Gary Carpenter says Saturday mornings in 79 was the best. Yeah, great cartoons and some good live action stuff too. James Dye points out that Alien came out in 79. And speaking of movies, Cindy D says she loved The Jerk. Larry Moore says from Amityville Horror to Apocalypse Now, it was a great year for movies, for sure. Superfan Kevin Davis points out that Moonraker with Jaws, yes, was a 79 flick. John McJunkin says, Dave, which sci-fi show was your favorite from those days? Buck Rogers, Battlestar Galactica, Space 1999, Quark, Salvage One, or something else? Battlestar Galactica, although I do have a soft spot for Buck Rogers as well. Fazoli says, Star Trek The Motion Picture was a very different, mind-blowing look, but lacking a lot of motion. Unfortunately, it's grown on me over the years. I am more fond of it now than I was during the late 70s. It was 78, December of 78 when it premiered. I was a little underwhelmed when I saw it at the theaters the first time. I was a kid and was looking for more action. I got it with Wrath of Khan, obviously, but a little bit underwhelmed. But now I actually really enjoy that, and I'm looking forward to watching the new 4K director's cut. Emily Miller says she saw The Jerk. I love that movie. What a wonderful movie. All right, let me go back to the live stream, getting off there, and let's just see if I can see. Superfan Dominic D says, love The Jerk, funny stuff. Superfan Emily Miller says, saw the Muppet movie. Superfan Tracy Rothmeyer says, The Jerk was great. Zorn76 says, Apocalypse Now was my number one pick. You know, Heart of Darkness is what that movie is based on. It's a Joseph Conrad short novel. And it's something that I read when I was in college, and I really enjoyed the movie more after reading Heart of Darkness. And if you haven't read that, I would encourage you to do so and then watch the movie again. Robo B9 says, the Muppet movie was great. Thrash Pondo says, Dad took us to see Moonraker. First Bond I saw in theaters. Awesome. What a cool dad. Let's see. Larry Moore says, Rocky 2. That was a great movie. Until we got to Rocky 4, I thought that each movie got progressively better. Now, I know that there's those purists out there who love the original Rocky and feel like they kind of got glossier, slicker, shinier, if you will. By the time you got to Rocky 4, there were a lot of MTV-style edits and a lot of music in them. Loved them. And Rocky 2 was a fun movie. Saw it in the theater. I think I took my little brother Steve with me. Thrash Pondo says, loved the Muppet movie. Superfan Mike and Kathy says, worst Star Trek ever. Superfan Emily Miller says, I saw it. Kevin Davis says, I saw Trek. Let's see. Cindy D says, all her hair fell out from the cornrows. Did that really happen to Bo Derek? Maximus Prime says, Star Trek, a.k.a. the boring movie. Or boring the movie. Superfan Mike D says, Star Trek the motion picture was sci-fi gothic tale, meant to be slower, creepier than the following average shoot-em-ups. It sure was. It sure was. Oh, here's a good one. Daryl Johnson mentions Breaking Away. Breaking Away. What a really good movie it was. Yes, I totally agree. And I loved the TV version that I think debuted a year later in 1980 and starred Sean Cassidy. Great stuff. Let's see. Let me keep moving. Oh, Tracy Rothmeyer, superfan Tracy Rothmeyer says, Rocky, my first movie crush. Zorn76 says, Breaking Away was wonderful. Superfan Emily Miller says, Amityville. Yeah, those uniforms were awful similar, weren't they, Inframan? Let's see. Did Mad Max come out that year? I know it's an Australian import. I don't remember. I thought, for some reason, I thought that was 1980, but very well could be 79 in Australia. Let's see what else we got. Looking. Emily Miller, superfan Emily Miller says, as a kid, definitely Superman. As an adult, Amityville Horror. Danny Staten says the second Star Trek for sure. Yeah, a couple years later, Nicholas Meyer and team really knocked it out of the park. Let's see. Superfan Mike D says, you had me at Julie Newmar. I can't wait to start giving away copies of that magazine. That's going to be a lot of fun. I'm scrolling through. Daryl Johnston mentions Alien. Oh, and Mike Silva says, Dave, Nickelodeon was paid for education when it started. I did not know that. Gary Carpenter says Julie Newmar was the best Catwoman. Don't disagree. Brian B says, Dave, first time catching live in a while. Love your channel. I used to quadruple B you. You might remember me. I appreciate you joining me again. I'll have to go back and look to see if it jogs my memory. Let's see. Superfan Emily Miller says, didn't see Star Trek until much later. I was a huge Star Wars fan. And Jay Trey says, Meatballs. That's a fun movie. I love that. And, here's another 79 movie that won't be on Siskel and Ebert's top 10 list. Said, I saw the Warriors on my birthday while at sea in the Bermuda operating area. The Triangle, greatest birthday ever. Great comment, William Kirchmeier. And James Dice says, no Amiga, too expensive to get. They were a little pricier, but boy, what a fantastic computer. I started composing music on that. Loved it. Let's see. Jeffrey Tadeo, welcome to the live stream, says, I was always terrible at video games, but the one that I basically mastered was Galaga. I loved Galaxian and then Galaga. Oh, wow. This is on one of Siskel and Ebert's, I won't tell you which one, their top 10 list, written by Nicholas Meyer, who went on to write Wrath of Khan and direct Trek movies as well. Did he direct Wrath of Khan? He may have. But Time After Time, that was a great movie. The In-Laws was fun, too. Another great one. Lots of comments. I'm not going to get to them all. But I do want to get to a super chat that I see there. So I'm going to scroll through. See if I can't find a super chat from Zorn76. A very, very generous super chat. He's almost buying me a tank of gas. God bless you, Zorn76. He says, this tip is dedicated to 70s inflation, Saturday night ABC tandem of The Love Boat and Fantasy Island, and our beloved friend, Dave Sundstrom. Well, thank you so much, Zorn76. And, I got to say, I love having you hang out with us in the chats during the live streams. And obviously, your comments on my videos are always highly appreciated as well. A lot of folks are against this one, but I can think of no other video to better describe how appreciative I am of that kind of super chat and that level of support than this.
Thank you very much. Thank you very much. That's the nicest thing that anyone's ever done for me. Thank you very, very, very much.
Yeah, very, very cool, Zorn, as Superfan Dominic D points out. Very cool. Thank you so much for the support. Raja1938 says, Jerry Goldsmith's score during the Enterprise flyby, first time I ever teared up watching a film. Boy, was I was moved as well, because think about it. We had waited so long for new Star Trek. Sure, we got the animated series during the early 70s, but new live-action Star Trek, and that had been teased for so long. First, they were talking about a new Star Trek TV series, and that didn't pan out. And then when Star Wars was a hit, that was all the impetus that Paramount Pictures needed to know that they needed to get on the sci-fi train, have their own, franchise that they could and milk, which they did, and continue to do so to this day. So let's see. Starcraft was worth watching. Yes, that was a great show. Low budget science fiction. I'm drawing a blank on the actress that's in Starcraft right now, but yeah, I remember watching that and I enjoyed it quite a bit. Informan says, I remember the China Syndrome, great drama. Sure was. Jack Lemmon, Jane Fonda, good stuff. Let's see. William Kirchmeyer says, was ABC on Friday or Fridays on ABC in 79? I believe it was. And of course, that's one of the first places I saw Michael Richards ever on television. Let's see. Boy, the chat is moving so fast. I'm having a hard time. Oh, Superfan Kevin Davis says, so much for Noel. Sorry, I couldn't resist. That was such a generous super chat from Zorn76 that I had to do a little welk. And you know what? I feel like I got to do another one. I'm going to do another one just to say thank you again. And we're going to do a little Dr. Detroit.
Hey, look.
Thank you.
So thank you again, Zorn76. And Kevin Davis, there you go. Noel, Dr. Detroit instead. Superfan John Collins says, Dave, please tell everyone to keep Ian and his family in their thoughts and prayers. Yes, Ian is, and his family, in particular his wife, is going through some really serious medical issues. And so obviously anything you can do to create positive momentum, mojo, vibes to go his way would be highly appreciated. And I think he really appreciates when, I know he's struggling right now to find time to make videos and do live streams, but when he does one, go over there and connect with him, because Ian is the kind of guy that really appreciates the connections and the conversation. So don't hesitate to visit with him. I know he appreciates it. All right, let me keep moving. Paul Lemon says, I was so turned on by Lauren Tweez. She was cute, wasn't she? And really, I thought the breakout star of The Love Boat. It is too bad that cocaine did her in. All right, here's what we're going to do. So many comments. I can't get to them all right now. I'm going to take a look at them while I play some commercials from our retro sponsors. And I can't remember what products are sponsoring the live stream this time, but guaranteed they are all from 1979.
Ace Hardware presents Suzanne Summers.
Ace is the place with the helpful hardware man. He knows you need to fix things, he shows you how you can. His price is right on everything, and he's got your favorite brand. Ace is the place with the helpful hardware man. He's so helpful, yeah. Ace is the place with the helpful hardware man.
Olympic gold medal winner Bruce Jenner makes action look easy.
I'm Christy Jenner, and my Minolta XG 35mm reflex camera makes it easy to catch Bruce in action. One touch on this electronic button, and Minolta XG electronics take over to give me great pictures automatically. I just focus and shoot.
And when the action speeds up, the optional auto winder even makes it easier to get those quick shots. The Minolta XG, the automatic choice for action photography.
Tuesday on Happy Days.
This is Incredible Wax.
Chachi's Miracle Gunk puts Fonzie on the hot seat. Then it's Spy versus Spy when Laverne and Shirley try and catch a thief to learn the naked truth. And Jack moves in with another man's woman. So Chrissy and Janet spring a new surprise.
Big Hollywood picture.
Then the cabbies get a starring role when a director takes them for a ride on Taxi.
Tomorrow, starting at 8, 7 Central and Mountain on ABC.
All right, we are back, and it is time, people. It is time. Deep from the heart of nostalgia comes Superman, the movie. A 1978 release, but the 1979 top box office film starring Christopher Reeve, Gene Hackman, Valerie Perrine, or is it Perrine? I think it's Perrine. Ned Beatty, Jackie Cooper. Did I mention Margot Kidder? Margot Kidder. Here's what you need to do. Let me get this. Let me make this a little bigger here. I need everyone to type into the chat #super. #super. We got 111 people here tonight. So I'd love to see 40 or 50 people in the drawing. As soon as I get up to, I don't know, we're going to give folks a minute or two here. Let's see. Wow, I'm going to look at some comments here. Wow. I wait. We've got, how many people do we got? We're getting there. We are getting there, which is cool. We've got 20 entries so far. I'd love to see a few more. Daryl Johnston points out 112 watching, 104 likes. Let's get those numbers up. I'm just going to say thanks to Daryl for reminding folks, and thanks to everybody that has hit the like button tonight, who has subscribed to the channel, who supports the channel. You know, I talk a lot about the super chats and the membership, super fans, but the best way you can support the channel is by watching the videos and sharing them on Facebook and Twitter, sharing them with your friends. That is the thing that I appreciate the most of all. And I know it's frustrating for some folks that I saw in the chat. Some folks are a little frustrated that the Sunday social is for super fans, but it's something that I promised to super fans, and I don't want to go back on that promise. But here's what I will say, is that I will continue to do at least one live stream every single week for everyone that is interested, that wants to hang out with me on a Thursday night. And on some Sundays, I'm going to do socials that are for everyone as well. So hopefully, that is one of the things that I thought very long time about, whether I wanted to create channel memberships and have that be an option. And one of the reasons was I was worried about hurting people's feelings. I don't want to do that. But I do appreciate those folks that are able to provide or demonstrate support and to continue to support me as a creator. So let's see, where are we at? We're close to 40. When we get to 40, I think I'm going to hit that button. So let me take a look here. We're 35 entries. How about we do this? Let me go ahead and just put a 30-second timer on here. Give folks a chance. #super is what I'm hoping to see. Let me go ahead and throw this on the screen too. Hang on one second. Get this on the screen. There we go. #super is what I'm hoping to see. When I get to 40 or when this timer runs out, let me get the 30-second timer on the screen. I'm going to click that draw button. So no point in delaying this any longer. But thanks to everybody for your support and for being here with me tonight. 115 people hanging out with me on a Thursday night talking about old-timey TV shows and movies and now music in just a minute. That's awesome. You guys are the best. Okay, let me go back over to comments. Take that off the screen. Go over here, take that off. And we're at 38. I guess that's as good as we got tonight for this DVD. Superman, the great Christopher Reeve in his first role, his first time playing Superman. He did such a wonderful job. He is, for me, the iconic Superman. He's my Superman. As much as I like Henry Cavill and some of the other folks that have played Superman over the years, Christopher Reeve is the man. Let me go ahead and hit that draw button here. Let's see who we end up with. Margaret Stadler, congratulations. I am so excited to send the DVD to you. It's great to have you here on the live stream. I think this is the first time I've seen you on the live stream, so nicely done. Let me go ahead and put this up on the screen real quick. I just need you to send your name and address to this email address and let me know you won the Superman DVD, Margaret, and give me an email address to send it to. All right. Again, congratulations. That is awesome. Let me go ahead and take that off the screen. We'll go back full screen here. I'll leave that on for a second. Zorn76, you are... my goodness, you've outdone yourself tonight, my friend. A second super chat from Zorn76. He says, Dave et al., this $20 is dedicated to my favorite angel, Chris Monroe, Cheryl Ladd, and my number one 1979 movie, Apocalypse Now. Great super chat, great choices. I have to admit, I am a big fan of Cheryl Ladd, and I don't think we're the only ones, Zorn 76, because the Cheryl Ladd videos that I've done tend to be among my most popular. And let me see if I can dig one up for the after party tonight after the live stream is over. But thank you so much. Truly appreciated. Let me see what I can find here as a way of expressing my appreciation.
Grazie, gracias, danke, merci, spasibo, sheshe, arigato gozaimasu.
One more. The King of Rock.
Thank you very much. 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 Thank you. Thank you very much.
Thank you very much, Zorn76. Let me go ahead and take off my email address. Hopefully, Margaret, you have got that written down. The tricky part's Sundstrom, Sundstrom. You just throw a JD in front of that, and then at yahoo.com. Let me take that off the screen. All right. Now, I want to share my screen here. We're going to play a little bit of music trivia. And what we're going to do, it's really more like name that tune. So let me find the video, and then I'm going to have to stop it real quick because I think it automatically starts playing. Let's see here. There we go. There we go. I'm stopping it. All right, so I'm going to play a little bit of a snippet of the top 10 hits from 1979, according to the Billboard charts. I believe these are the top 40 charts. And then we're going to do the same thing that we always do. You guys can go ahead and put your answers, what song you think it is. You can name the artist. You can name the... Here's what we'll do. You get 1 point for artist, and you get 1 point for the name of the song. So there's going to be a total of 20 points tonight. You got to keep track of them yourself. But you have a possible 20 points. And about every 3 songs or so, I'll check in and we'll get scores. We'll see how everybody is doing. So again, I'm going to play a little snippet, and then we'll stop. We'll let folks guess. You can just lock it in your noggin. If you want to ignore the chat part here and just kind of keep track of it in your head, that's probably the purest way to play it. But a lot of folks just like to throw their answers in the chat. Sometimes they're right, sometimes they're wrong. But here we go. Here is the first song snippet. This is the number 10 song in 1979.
Looks like it's over. Never used you. You knew I really cared.
Okay. What do you guys think? Let me go ahead and put the timer on the clock here. Gotta have a timer. We'll give folks 30 seconds. I'm going to take a swig. A lot of talking tonight. Again, you get 1 point for the artist and 1 point for the name of the song. And if you notice, those were multiple little tiny snippets of the song just enough so hopefully you get a flavor of what the number 10 song in the United States was according to the Billboard Top 40 charts. All right, let's go ahead and provide the answer here. Yep, Robert John, Sad Eyes. Here comes number 9. There we go. All right, that was the number 9 song in the nation. Let me throw the timer on here, folks. Give folks just a little bit of time to put their answers in the chat. 1 point for artist, 1 point for name of the song. I'm going to peek over there and see how people are doing. All right. Looks like a lot of folks are getting things correct. See a few incorrect answers, but not many. Boy, what an interesting year 1979 was for music. Really eclectic, right? Lots of different styles of music. All right, let's see what that song was. Yes, Anita Ward, Ring My Bell. All right, here comes number 8. Folks, if you can't get that one, that's the equivalent of when you're playing bingo, you get the free spot in the middle. You don't know who the artist is. Some of you won't know who the artist is. So again, 1 point for artist, 1 point for the name of the song. That one should have been evident, although there is a little bit of choppiness I'm noticing to my feed here, the audio part of the feed on the video. This video, by the way, will be an expanded version with some narration and some other things will be over on my Retro Music Memories channel probably this weekend. So just something I'm working on right now. Haven't quite completed it, so it's a little bit unfinished, but I thought we'd use it. Let me see scores. It's time for scores. We've done 3 here. Let's see what we've got here. Yeah, possible 6 points. Kevin Davis says 1 for 3, I'm guessing, but you're not giving yourself the double points. Al Oduardi says 2 of 6. James Dye 0 of 2. Superfan Superflex says 1 for 3. Let me see what we got here. Superfan Kevin Davis 2 for 6. There we go. Boy, the chat's moving so fast. Let's see. Superfan Mike D 6 of 6. Superfan Kevin Davis 2 of 6. Butch Shump, Superfan Butch Shump 5 points so far. Let's see. Superfan Mike and Kathy 1 for 3. Tom, the Hungry Jerk's got all 6 so far. Blotchy Bears got 3 for 3, so I'm guessing 6 for 6. Superfan Tracy Roth Myers 3 so far. I'm guessing 6 is what you mean. Todd McCreary 6 for 6. Good job, Dominic D. Superfan Dominic D, 4 of 6. Zorn 76, 4 of 6. Cindy D, 6 for 6. Lamont Bradford, 4 of 6. Steve Tevis got 5 of 6 so far. Zavarius 23, 1 of 6. Shannon Burns, 5 of 6. Terrell Eugene Bellinger, 6 for 6. Let's see. Let's keep going here. Daryl Johnston, I'm guessing, is 4 for 6. Ali Alias, 2 of 6. Good to have you here with us, Ali. Let's see. Thresh Pondo Pons, 4 of 6. Superfan Lisa Fields, 6 of 6. Nicely done. Yes, Bruce Jenner, who we just saw in a commercial not too long ago, was in Can't Stop the Music, along with the Village People. Superfan Jill Carter's 3 of 3. Let's see. Superfan Emily Miller's 4 of 6. Mike Silva's 6 of 6. Ryan Nczi's is 2 of 6. That's a difficult one. I'm sure it's easy once you know how it's pronounced. Larry Moore 3 of 3 or 6 of 6. John Stammer's got 4 so far. Yes, Valerie Perrine was in Can't Stop the Music as well. Robot B9 6 of 6. All right, Lori Fields, 6 of 6. Do we see any more scores here? Abracokus, 2 of 6. Superfan John Collins, 1 of 3, 2 points. I can bet you know which one I got right. Let's see, Dolph Quick. I'll have to think about that, John. 2 of 6, I guess. My math stinks. All right. Well, let's keep going. Let me go ahead and take that comment off, and let's hear the next one. Yes, Village People, YMCA. I didn't even give the answer. That's how horrible I am at orchestrating. Here we go. Number 7. All right, it's starting to show. I didn't get to it quick enough, but hopefully you got your answer in. The correct answer, I'm going to delay for just a second to let people get their answers in, lock them in their noggins, put it in the chat, whatever you need to. The correct answer is indeed Hot Stuff by Donna Summer. Move on to number 6. I didn't get to it quickly enough. Yes, hopefully you guys got that correct. It's Gloria Gaynor, I Will Survive. And I noticed there was some chat about that song earlier on in the group conversation. Let's see. I noticed there's a little political conversation going on. Let's keep politics and religion and all of those topics that people can get fired up about. Let's leave them behind and focus on entertainment. That's what we're here for, is to talk about music, movies, and TV, mostly TV, from decades gone by. Something that we all have in common, a love for that type of entertainment. All right, next song, and then we'll see scores again. Number 5. Okay, let me stop that in time to let people get their answer in. Yeah, I'm seeing a lot of folks jump in. Stop the politics, people. No politics. Yeah, this is not a place for politics. That's not what we do here. I'm sure there are live streams out there where you can have really robust political conversation. Larry Moore says, lost track, distracted by my cat. Well, you know what? There's worse things to be distracted by. All right, let's see scores, folks. Give me scores. Al Oduarte's 5 of 10. James Dye's 5 of 10. Let's see. Superfan Kevin Davis, 8 of 12. Zorn 76, my first, 2 of 2. We must have lost you for a bit, Zorn. Okay. Hungry Jerk, 8 of 10. John Stemmer, 10 of 12. Superfan Mike G. Mike D, 12 of 12. Really nice night for you, Mike. Good job. You know your music, my friend. Mike Silva, 8 of 10. William Kirchmeyer, 0 of 0. Right. Mark Gothard's just got one right so far. Left at Albuquerque, 10 of 10. Nicely done. But Shump, Superfan Butch Shump, 9 of 12. Superfan Tracy Ralph Myers, 12 of 12. She knows her stuff, as does Superfan Lisa Fields as well. And Superfan Superflex is 4 of 10. Cindy D is, what did I see, 10 for 10. Ryan and Zissy is 4 of 10. Thrash Pondo Pond's 10 of 12. Blotchy Bears got them all so far. Daryl Johnson's lost track of his score. We'll just play along. Have fun with us. Lamont Bradford's got all of them but one. Dolph Quick, 7 of 10. Lori Fields, 12 of 12. Nicely done. Superfan Emily Miller, 7 of 10. Yeah, it's harder when there's 2 points and they're variables on each song. So Todd McCreary, 12 of 12. Roger, 1938, 8 of 12. Superfan Dominic D, 10 of 12. And Superfan Mike D says, yes, I love that era of music, as do I. All right, we're going to go. We got 4 more, and we are going to go breakneck, and then we'll get final scores. Here is number 4. All right, that was Peaches and Herc Reunited. Again, I didn't show the answer, but you all knew it. So good job. Good job to everyone, and let's go to number 4. What do you think? What do you think that is? I'll give folks their full 30 seconds on this one because I'm on top of things this time around. And I'll take a swig. Again, remind folks how awesome, speaking of Remind Magazine is. Not sponsored by them in any way, although they do let me give away a subscription each month. That's really nice of them. So I will do that typically I do that on the first week of each month. We gave away the Remind subscription last week during the live stream. Correct answer here is Rod Stewart, Do You Think I'm Sexy? Let's go to number 3. Okay. Starting to see the answer there again. I'm going to back it up just a little bit. There we go. Give folks a few seconds to put their answers in the chat or lock them in the noggin. Again, I think we have all heard that song, but who was the artist and what's the actual name of the song? Here it is. It's Chic or Chic. La Freak is the name of the song. Do number 2. All right. Give folks a few seconds to get their answers in. Lock it in your noggin or put it in the chat, both artist name and name of song if you want the full 2 points for it. All right. This has been a lot of fun, folks. Again, thanks to everyone for your participation and engagement tonight. Next week, topic likely to be, if I can do it. I've got to. There's a lot of research that's going to go into this one, but I'm trying to get Battle of the Network Stars. That will likely be the topic for next Thursday's live stream, and would love to have everybody attend and share their favorite Battle of the Network Stars memories. All right, who was that? That was Donna Summer, her number 2 song in the top 10. She had Hot Stuff as well, Bad Girls. Here's the number 1 song. All right. There it is, the number 1 song in the nation, in the United States in 1979. Name the band, name the song. We'll give folks about 10 seconds to do that. And then I will display the answer and we will look at final scores for everyone. All right, let's see who that is. It is The Knack. There's something of a one-hit wonder, although I do enjoy a lot of songs by The Knack. All right, folks, now it's your turn to let me know how you did in the comments section. You can put that in the comment section of the actual live stream if you want, or in the chat here. One way or the other is great. Let me see if I can get some final scores here. Lots of folks are saying, I have no idea. Final scores. There should be a total of 20 since there were 10. Superfan Emily Miller says she missed 2. Zorn76 says 11-16 overall. Okay. Let me see. Superfan Superplex was 4 of 18. Lamont Bradford says do Battle of the Network Stars. I'm trying to get it ready. I will do it. It's been long requested by Lance Chaffin. I don't know if he's still here with us, one of my executive producers tonight. And so I definitely want to deliver for him since it's been often requested. Let's see. Superfan Kevin Davis says 12 of 20. Nicely done. Great job. Let me see if I can get some more scores here. John Stemmer got 18 of 20. Nicely done. Superfan Butch Schompf, 17 of 20. Great. William Kirchmeyer, 0 for 0. Sorry. It was maybe, that might not have been your year for music. It was for Mike D. Superfan Mike D got 20 of 20. Good job, Tom. The Hungry Jerk got 18 of 20. Superfan Superplex got 5 of 20. James Dye thinks he got 7. Zorn76 says 13 of 18. Lori Field says 20 of 20. Hit the Grand Slam tonight. Indeed, you did. Eric Parker says summer of 79, disco officially burned. It sure did. That was kind of the end of disco, right? Then you had the new wave come in, and both new styles of music coming from both sides of the pond, from the UK as well as the US. I think of bands like Blondie, or the Ramones, Talking Heads, the Cars over here in the US, and then, of course, over there in England, you had bands like The Clash, Duran Duran, Ultravox, lots of great bands over there. Todd McCurry, 20 of 20. Blotchy Bear, 20 of 20. Superfan Kevin Davis says 12 of 20. Disco Stinks. I'm not a huge fan of it myself, but there's a few songs I don't mind. Mike Silva says 11 of 20. Abracocus says 7 of 20. Superfan Tracy Rothmeyer's got them all. Cindy D got them all, 20 for 20. Good job. Lamont Bradford, 18 for 20. Good job. Mark Cawthorne got 2 of them correct. Left at Albuquerque got them all and demands worship. Worship him. He was there. You know what? A lot of us were in 79. Thresh Pondo, 17 of 20. Good job. Superfan Lisa Fields, 19 of 20. Superfan Dominic D, 18 of 20. Mike Silva says 11 of 20. Mike D says some memorable stuff that year. No Kiss songs in the top 10. You remember there was a disco Kiss song right around 79 called I Was Made for Loving You. I believe it did break into the top 40. Might have been their last top 40 hit, well, until years later. But it certainly wasn't one of the top 10 songs for the entire year. Let's see if there's any more scores here. Mike Silva says 11 of 20. Superfan Emily Miller says buffered at 2. I'm going to say 15 of 20. Sorry about the buffering there, folks. Robot B9 got all 20. Dolph Quick, 18 of 20. Superfan Jill Carter, 19 of 20. Eric Parker, 20 of 20. Mike Silva, 11 of 20. I think I'm seeing repeats now. So let me go ahead and stop that. Let's take that off the screen here. Let's go back to a full screen. So here's the deal. 1979, pretty darn awesome. Obviously, as we've talked about, starting with television and then movies and finally wrapping it up with some music, 1979. What a wonderful year for entertainment all across the board. It's one of my favorites, and things only got better as we moved into the 80s. 80 and 81 and 82 are some of my favorite years, in particular when we talk about music. So I look forward to, in future live streams, perhaps covering them a little bit more. But thanks to everyone tonight for your engagement. Thanks to everybody who participated in the drawing. I really enjoy doing the drawings, and so it's lots of fun when people participate and get their names in there. Thanks so much. And congratulations to Margaret for winning the DVD. So again, just a reminder to those folks, there will be a Superfan channel member social on Sunday. And then next week on Thursday, the topic, I believe, unless it's subject to change, but I believe will be Battle of the Network Stars. So it'll be great to have everybody here. Now, it's not over yet. Well, it is kind of over. I'm wrapping things up, but what I like to do is give folks a little bit longer to visit and to talk amongst yourselves. And so I do have some additional videos. What I like to call it is my after party. So I'm going to go ahead and kind of start to turn off the lights, shut down some of the systems, but I'm going to have some videos playing, and I'll pop into the chat every now and again. But before I do that, before I start clicking buttons and flipping switches and all that kind of stuff, I just want to say thank you to each one of you. I am so grateful to be able to have a community like this that I can connect with and share my love of entertainment from decades gone by. It is one of the great pleasures. And to be able to come on and do a live stream and to get the kind of support that I get week after week. And it's just so rewarding, and I am so grateful to each one of you. So thank you for your engagement. Truly, truly appreciated. So with that, I'm going to go ahead and start clicking buttons, flipping switches. And like I said, if you want to hang out, I'm going to start playing videos too. So it's up to you guys, but thanks to everyone for being here, and I hope you have a great remainder of the week.
To propose, but Arnold has another idea.
Hi there.
Then for Joe and Valerie, the wedding is over, but the memory lingers.
You look great.
Why are you wearing a blindfold?
It's bad luck for the groom to see the bride in a wedding dress.
Joe and Valerie, right after Different Strokes, Friday on NBC.
There she is. Often requested by commenters on some of my other Whatever Happened To videos, Jan Smithers, better known as Bailey Quarters, the beautiful but somewhat reserved assistant to program director Andy Travis on the classic sitcom WKRP in Cincinnati. WKRP ran from 1978 to 1982, 86 episodes in all. Lots of wonderful acting by Smithers and the rest of the cast. I remember watching and thinking, I know I've seen her somewhere before, but I could never put my finger on where. Thank heavens for the internet. Now I know that Jan was a sought-after model in the late 60s and early 70s. She was all over print media and television. Jan got her start in the most awesome of ways, believe it or not. She was playing hooky from school for the very first time, or so she says, just hanging out with a friend on a California beach when she was approached by two men in suits who claimed to be from Newsweek magazine. And it turns out they weren't lying. And before you knew it, there was Jan Smithers on the cover of Newsweek magazine. After publication, Jan's parents' phone was ringing off the hook with agents seeking to represent her. The already mentioned modeling gigs were just the beginning, the tip of the iceberg for Ms. Smithers. In 1974, Jan starred in the film Where the Lilies Bloom, based on a well-known book which told the story of a poor sharecropping family. Smithers got positive reviews for her work as the family's eldest daughter. After that, Jan was able to find additional employment opportunities on both television as well as motion pictures. But it was her role as the shy but sexy Bailey Quarters that really caught the viewing public's attention. Sure, front and center there was platinum blonde Lonnie Anderson, literally screaming for the attention of all male eyeballs. But for many fans of the show, including myself, it was Jan's portrayal of Ms. Quarters that really felt like the real deal. There was an authenticity there. And even though she was often referred to as that other girl on WKRP, even television critics recognized the contributions that Jan made to the overall success of that TV show. Okay, brief intermission from the Jan Smithers update to stroll down memory lane a bit. Does anybody remember these things? I'm sure this record player was absolute trash, but I remember wanting one so bad. Somehow I thought I could be a real DJ if I had one of these things. Okay, back to Jan. After WKRP had ran its course, Jan found steady work on shows like The Fall Guy, Mike Hammer, and Murder, She Wrote. But it was a 1986 appearance on the TV series Hotel that would forever change her life. You see, she fell in love with leading man James Brolin, and before you knew it, they were officially man and wife. Jan's last role was in the 1987 movie called Mr. Nice Guy. I've never seen it, so I can't speak to her performance in the film or the quality of the film overall. Roughly around the same time that Jan was making this movie, she also found out that she was pregnant. At last, she was going to be a mother. She and James would have a daughter that they would name Molly. And while the marriage didn't last, Jan has gone on record many times about how motherhood felt like a calling to her. There wasn't much more that she wanted to do than be Molly's mother. Acting held no appeal. She was 100% invested in raising her little girl. Molly is grown up now and appears to have a great relationship with both mom and dad. I'm not sure exactly what she does, but it does seem like this Molly Brolin from Brooklyn, New York on Etsy might be the same young lady pictured next to Mr. Brolin there. If you're into the whole Etsy thing, you might want to go over to her storefront and check out some of the items that she is selling. Back to Jan. When Molly was older and in high school, Jan took her first trip to India with a charitable organization. While there, she not only fell in love with the people, but the spirituality that exists within their culture as well. Since that time, she has traveled to India on 16 different occasions, and as you might expect, she practices yoga and dabbles in the fine art of meditation on a daily basis. She has also had the opportunity, from time to time, to reunite with her fellow cast members from WKRP. Jan has said that she looks back on that time in her life fondly, and a lot of that has to do with the people that she worked with, day in and day out. Personally, I love to see photos like this one. You always hope that the friendships you see on screen are legitimate reflections of true friendships that exist off screen. I think with Jan and her other WKRP castmates, that hope is an actual reality. One last pick. Let's go way back to Jan's modeling days for this one. It's easy to see why she had such a successful modeling career before becoming an actress. Anyway, what do you think? Did you enjoy Jan's work on WKRP? Or was there someone else on the show that was your favorite? It certainly did have a very unique cast of characters. Along with Jan, I was a big fan of Howard Hesseman and the big guy, Gordon Jump. Let me know in the comments section, and while you're at it, I would appreciate a thumbs up, and what the heck, why not subscribe to the channel? I talk about music, movies, and television, mostly from the 60s, 70s, and 80s. You know, the good stuff. But most importantly, and as always, thank you so much for watching.
For you parents who don't speak Klingonese, he's saying, people of Earth, unite and bring your kids to McDonald's for a Star Trek meal. That's a regular hamburger, fries, soft drink, a McDonald and cookie sampler, and a Star Trek prize. Oh, yes, 5 different boxes based on Star Trek the Motion Picture. Action scenes, jokes, games. He says, take it from a father who knows. His kids love him. McDonald's Star Trek meal available for your kids now.
Despite numerous requests, I have held off doing this video because, truth be told, I just don't like sad endings to stories, especially the ones that I tell. In fact, there are times when I'll avoid reading a book or watching a movie or TV show just because I have an inkling that things aren't going to end well. So fair warning to anyone watching, there are no happy endings in this video. Still, when you look back at Debra Lee Scott's career, there really is a ton worth celebrating. Now, I'm not going to talk much about the movies that she appeared in, but a couple that still stick out are American Graffiti, yep, that's a young Harrison Ford with Ms. Scott, as well as her reoccurring appearances in the Police Academy movie franchise. Instead, I want to focus on Debra Lee's TV career. She first came to prominence on the farcical soap opera Mary Hartman, Mary Hartman. While I was aware of that show, I wasn't all that interested, to be truthful. I guess I was just too young to appreciate that show's particular brand of humor. It was Debra Lee's next television role, however, that really grabbed my attention. You see, along with every other kid in our neighborhood, I was a big fan of the TV show Welcome Back, Kotter, and Debra Lee played a character that appeared in numerous episodes during that really great first season of the show. Her character's name was Rosalie, but her classmates and the Sweat Hogs knew her better as Hotsy Totsy. After that first season, she would reprise the role one more time in 1978 in an episode that brought us up to date on her life post-high school. And around the same time, Scott was making her mark, really making her mark, as a great celebrity contestant on game shows like Password Plus and Match Game. In fact, Scott is somewhat notorious for a particular moment during an episode of Password Plus. Yep, long before Ms. Janet Jackson, Debra Lee invented the term wardrobe malfunction. The next thing that I remember Debra Lee in was an ABC sitcom called Angie, where she played the main character's younger sister Marie. I remember when Angie debuted, it looked like the show was going to take off and run for years, like Happy Days and Laverne and Shirley. But then the producers decided to have Angie get married at the beginning of the second season, and wouldn't you know it, just like that, the show's ratings began to decline week after week, until finally, the network execs gave the show the axe. It really was a bummer because I liked that show a lot. So, after Angie, Debra Lee made the decision to step away from the camera. She knew the industry well, and at that point she was something of a seasoned, grizzled veteran, if you will, and because of her experiences, she decided to help others as they journeyed toward entertainment, fame, and fortune as a talent agent. It was rewarding work for her, and like everything else that Debra Lee had ever done, she gave it her all. And you know what? She wasn't looking for love when she stepped into a bar in 1995 and began visiting with a burly, tattooed, cowboy hat-wearing feller who told her that he was in law enforcement. But whether or not she was looking for it, love found her, and for the next 5 years, Debra Lee and John Dennis Levi were inseparable. And in 2000, after 5 years of courtship, he proposed to her and they began making wedding plans. Unfortunately, their fairy tale relationship was cut short by one truly horrible day. One of the worst in U.S. history. Officer Levi was one of those officers who rushed to the buildings to try and aid others, only to find themselves in peril. On that fateful day, Officer Dennis would ultimately end up giving his life to help others. From everything that I've read, he called Debra Lee twice to tell her what was going on and that he was okay. Sadly, the most important call, the one where he would have told her that he was tired, exhausted, and ready to head home, well, that one never happened. As you might expect, this was an emotional blow that was truly devastating for Debra Lee. I think Dickens said it best when he said, "You think you're going to die of a broken heart, but you keep living, day after day after terrible day." From what I've read, Debra Lee retreated from the world and found comfort far too often in the form of a bottle. And in 2005, her sister urged her to come and spend time with her. And Debra Lee agreed that it probably was a good idea. Unfortunately, she wasn't with her sister long before she unexpectedly, for unknown reasons, slipped into a coma, and after some heroic measures, Debra Lee seemed to recover and went home with her sister, but 3 days later, just 3 days later, she went to sleep and never woke up. I know that I've heard people say that no one ever died of a broken heart, but I've got to say I don't believe it. I've seen it happen many times when a spouse passes away and before you know it, their partner follows. Quite simply, they just can't live in this world apart from the person that they love the very most. And I truly believe that this is what happened with Debra Lee. And I hope that somewhere and in some way she has now been reunited with her soulmate. So, like I said, this video is a bit of a bummer. Still, it's a story worth telling because Debra Lee's life and the love that she felt is worth remembering, just like it is in each one of our own lives. Let's all resolve to tell those that we care for how much we love them. Let's do it today, because you never know if there will be a tomorrow. Alright, one more picture. I like this one a lot. Anyway, please share your memories in the comments section, and while you're at it, I'd love a thumbs up if you enjoyed this video. And I would be absolutely honored if you would consider subscribing to my channel. I talk about music, movies, and television, mostly from the 50s, 60s, 70s, and 80s. You know, the good stuff. But most importantly, and as always, thank you so much for watching.
Welcome aboard the BK Escape Pod. That's right, it's the augmented and bionic podcast version of the live show. You can hear Saturdays from 10 a.m. till 12 p.m. Eastern on 100.3 FM and AM 1450 WBHF Radio. You can stream the show live there Saturdays at WBHFradio.org or on the free TuneIn app. Look out, here we go.
After these messages, we'll be right back.
Yeah. Star Wars, The Empire Strikes Back. And Burger King comes through again with our all-new Empire Strikes Back glasses. Collect a different glass for your family each week. Darth Vader,
R2-D2 and C-3PO, Lando Calrissian, Luke Skywalker.
Buy a regular-sized Coca-Cola at a special price and build your collection.
All new, the Empire Strikes Back glasses, only at Burger King.
It's okay if you don't understand what he's talking about. He probably doesn't either. It's BK on the Air on AM 1450, FM 100.3, and online using the TuneIn radio app.
Greetings, fellow classic TV fans. Rock and roll and the British invasion was prevalent in the 1960s, even on some of our favorite TV shows. The Beatles had successfully demonstrated comedic acting in A Hard Day's Night. Yet another British musical act also showed off those same skills on American TV, specifically the soft rock duo Chad and Jeremy. In 1965, they spoofed the British invasion as the Redcoats, Freddie and Ernie, on the Dick Van Dyke Show. They also performed on the Patty Duke Show, taking on the character names Nigel and Patrick. Wonder why they didn't go with Chad and Jeremy. In an episode of the comedic Western Laredo titled That's No Way, That-A-Way, they played the lead characters in an unsuccessful spin-off for a show of their own. They then played themselves in 1966 on a Batman episode. In that one, Catwoman steals their voices and then puts them up for ransom to the British government. Acting aside, they enjoyed true musical success, reaching number 7 with their hit Summer Song and amassing a total of 11 other hits in the top 100. So, Chad and Jeremy were indeed early examples of crossover TV pop stars. This is Pat McCormick with your Retro TV trivia from the Golden Rage of TV. You can also find me on YouTube and Facebook at Golden Rage of TV and on Twitter at Golden Rage of TV1. And now back to BK on the Air.
Thank you, Pat McCormick, for that trip into the Golden Rage of TV. We always appreciate it here every Saturday on BK on the Air. By the way, check out Pat's YouTube channel. He's got a lot of stuff going on out there where he interviews a lot of people about Golden Age of Television and his own brand of entertainment, which we all love. Somebody else is calling right now. 770-386-1450 is our number, WBHF. Hello, who's this?
This must be Pat McCormick.
Well, speak of the devil, and he calls up on the phone.
Good Love morning. You guys and miss you. I'm only halfway through my first cup, Barry.
Alan's halfway through his first dozen, sitting here.
Not quite that many.
I'll be catching up soon.
Good. Well, I think I may know why you're calling in this morning.
Well, today is the first ever CroftCon happening in Orinda, California.
That too, right. Sid Marty Krofft, CroftCon.
Yeah, the first ever. And it's going to be amazing. And guess who I'm going with, Barry?
I have a good idea of who you're going with. Does his first name start with a D?
It does.
Wow, you're going with
Mr. Dave Sundstrom
from the
YouTube Titan.
And he is a Titan, that's for sure.
But, yeah, we finally get to meet in person. The only thing that's missing is you and Alan. But
well, yeah, I mean, I know it would be a lot more fun if we were there. And I really is Deirdre Hall and the Electra Woman and Dinah Girl going to be there?
I don't believe so.
Oh, I sure would like to see them.
I do know Butch Patrick.
From the Munsters. And Lidsville.
Christopher Knight, Johnny Whitaker, and Sid and Marty themselves.
They will be there. That's amazing.
Oh, cool.
You know, Sid and Marty Krofft they were second to me only to Filmation. I loved Filmation Productions and Sid and Marty Krofft. What good stuff.
Yeah, it's going to be special because they're actually bringing H.R. Puffin stuff. The original costume.
Oh, the original costume with boots and everything.
Yeah, so hopefully no little kid will come up and kick me where they shouldn't.
In the shin. Would you ask them a question if you see them for me?
Sure, Barry.
Would you ask them what exactly were they doing when they were sitting around the table when they thought up H.R. Puffin stuff? I would like to know. A giant orange dragon thing with a Mayor McCheese head, kind of from McDonald's, and white cowboy boots on. I want to know what they were doing at that table.
I do know from the interviews I've heard in the past, they strictly deny any sort of substance involvement
in
their creative process.
And a magic flute that talks.
Look at how they do this. They deny all substance abuse.
Right.
They would never abuse it because it's too expensive. They use it moderately.
That's right. That's right.
Yeah. Substance use.
Substance use, but we wouldn't abuse it.
Well, so is that today? You said? Are you going today?
Yeah.
Well, okay. So is it a 2-day thing, or you guys going there today and then coming home?
It's a one-day event.
1-day event.
I'm assuming you'll photo document it, put it out on the Golden Rage of TV, Facebook, and everywhere else.
Smoke signals, everything. Yeah.
Absolutely. And,
cool.
If there are local listeners, I do know that there's still tickets. Amazingly.
Wow. I totally forgot you were going to that. I thought you were calling because of the Empire Strikes Back's anniversary today. Do you remember going to see that for the first time?
I do. As a matter of fact, my daughter graduated last night from college, and we went out to dinner directly across the street from the old 1930s theater that I saw the first Star Wars at. Waited in line 3 hours. You know the whole drill.
Oh, heck yeah.
That's how long I've been in this town, Barry. Time to go.
Right. Right. Well, what a sequel, though, man. We left leaving the theater going, wow, that was better than the first one. How often does that happen?
Exactly. Let me throw my 2 cents in here on Empire. He was big on the ending. I wanted more.
Mm-hmm. Right.
But that's only because I was a glutton.
Well, we discussed that without not knowing Return of the Jedi was coming. If that hadn't been the case, it would have been a horrible ending, but we knew there was going to be another movie, so that's what made it great, yeah.
Exactly right.
Well, good, yeah. And shake Dave Sudstrom's hand today and tell him hi for me. And you guys have a great time at the Croft Con. And while we still got you for a couple of seconds here before we go to a break, tell everybody where they can find you out there if they want to learn more about the Golden Rage of TV.
Well, you got to go to YouTube and look up Golden Rage of TV. And also on Twitter at Golden Rage of TV1. I'm on Facebook.
Really?
Facebook.
I understood what you said. I got you.
He's listening to Toccata and Fugue as Facebook.
Yeah. So
that's awesome.
There, and look for Dave Sundstrom.
Yes, I will. Yeah. And thanks to both of you for having me on both of your live YouTube videos here recently. And I was on the Retro Serial just the other night, too. So thanks to knowing Dave and Pat McCormack, I'm making more retro buddies out there. It's great. I appreciate it.
Yeah. I love ENC. He's really good. He's really good. Up and comer. Thanks, guys. Have a great weekend.
Talk to you soon. You too. Bye-bye.
Adios.
He's going to have a great time at the
My
Croft Con. He's going to have a good time, I can guarantee you. I did see, do you remember Electra Woman and Dinah Girl? The Croft, Sid Marty Croft show?
Just barely. Like, I'm aware of them, but never really watched it.
They were like the total flip side female Batman and Robin, basically is what they were, but it was shot on like that videotape look as a kid. And I watched them, and as a kid I'm like, I really love this show. And I don't know why. I mean, they're beautiful. I was just getting to where I was noticing girls, And I recently saw a picture of them just a few years back doing an appearance, and I'm like, they still look incredibly beautiful. What painting of themselves do they have in their attic locked up?
The cult horror classic Phantasm. I think I saw this one when I was 14 or 15. We had gone to see a G-rated movie. My friends and I had planned all along to sneak into Phantasm, one at a time. Most of us successfully made it. One kid was caught and forced to return to the movie. Looking back, he may have been the lucky one because Phantasm is a seriously scary movie. Even today, the thought of the tall man, Angus Scrim, and his flying metallic spheres of death are enough to keep me from sleeping at night. But even this movie, with its super scary themes, manages to be very human at the same time. The main character, Mike, has lost his parents, and he's worried about losing his older brother, Jody. Or has he already lost him? This movie has a super surreal quality to it. It was written, directed, edited, photographed by Coscarelli. And among its legion of fans, you can count well-known director J.J. Abrams, who helped with the remastering and re-release of this film in 2016.
Let's take a look at all 10 of my favorite films of 1979, starting with Apocalypse Now, Francis Ford Coppola's epic drama about Americans in Vietnam. And then came Breaking Away, about high school graduates getting ready to take their chances in the real world. Third was Michael Cimino's The Deer Hunter, about 3 steelworkers who went off to fight the war in Vietnam. Rainer Werner Fassbinder's The Marriage of Maria Braun was another war movie about the reconstruction of post-war West Germany and an ambitious woman who was reconstructed right along with it. Fifth was Hair, an inspired and brilliant musical recalling the age of Aquarius. And then I chose St. Jack, starring Ben Gazzara as an American pimp in Singapore. Seventh was Kramer vs. Kramer with Dustin Hoffman and Meryl Streep as a divorced couple in a child custody fight. Number 8 was the uncommonly intelligent thriller The China Syndrome with Jack Lemmon and Jane Fonda in the story of a nuclear plant meltdown. Ninth was Werner Herzog's Nosferatu, a brilliant and macabre retelling of the legend of Count Dracula. And in 10th place, I chose, inevitably, 10, the Blake Edwards comedy starring Dudley Moore as a man hopelessly in love with a vision of female perfection, played by Bo Derek.
Yeah, somehow I remember her in that picture. Well, we agree, isn't this interesting? We agree on 7 out of 10. Okay, here's my list in order of personal preference. My number one favorite film of 1979 was Hair, a stirring musical of the 60s with striking images provided by director Milos Forman. Number 2, Kramer vs. Kramer, all the details right and beautifully acted by Dustin Hoffman and Meryl Streep. Number 3 on my list is The Deer Hunter, which is on both Roger and my list this year because it didn't open until 1979 in all but 3 cities in the United States, so we consider it a 1979 film. It's a powerhouse drama of the grim realities of the Vietnam War. Number 4, Breaking Away, the year's sunniest film, a sweet slice of middle Americana. Number 5, Woody Allen's provocative and very funny Manhattan. Number 6, The Marriage of Maria Braun, one of 2 German films on my list. Number 7, the other German film, Werner Herzog's Nosferatu, a fresh retelling of the vampire legend with Klaus Kinski as the creepiest and also the saddest Count Dracula ever on film. Number 8, The Onion Field, a brutal thriller about a real-life 7-year trial of 2 lowlifes accused of murdering a policeman. Number 9, Time After Time, an original and romantic science fiction mystery and thriller. It's got everything. And number 10, The China Syndrome, which was a terrific thriller even before that accident at 3 Mile Island. Well, now we go from the sublime to the awful. It's Spot the Wonder Dog telling us it's time to sing about the 2 worst movies of 1979. Yes, finally, the dogs of the year. Roger, go ahead.
Gee, thanks a lot, Gene.
Yeah.
My dog of the year is Hurricane, the multi-million-dollar flop by Dino De Laurentiis. Hurricane was set 50 years ago in the South Pacific where a young native king and an American girl fell in love under the swaying palm trees. This is one of those movies where the lovers were always reaching out to each other speechlessly because they had nothing to say. Here they are now, Mia Farrow and Dayton Connie, fingertip to fingertip, as Dino's bargain basement sets are swept out to sea. I've seen this somewhere before.
My dog of the year, the worst picture, is Beyond the Poseidon Adventure, an appallingly bad sequel to a pretty dumb movie to begin with. In Beyond the Poseidon Adventure, Michael Caine leads another cast of dodos through another capsized boat. It's amazing how Caine can predict the future in this movie.
That porthole's going to go at any moment. We've got to find another way out of here. And right now.
Oh, he's real smart. Some good news out of this trash. Beyond the Poseidon Adventure was a total bust at the box office, which may signal that the decade of disaster film in the 70s has come to an end. Let's hope so.
It seems like almost yesterday, but it's not. The year is 1979, and we're a couple years past the phenomena that is Star Wars. And I am a 15-year-old and super eager to watch anything on TV or in the theater that is somewhat similar. Television producer Glenn A. Larson's first foray into epic sci-fi TV was Battlestar Galactica. Sadly, that show was canceled after just 1 season. Fortunately for all of us, Glenn Larson is not discouraged. He's got another project that he's working on for another network, NBC, called Buck Rogers in the 25th Century. It's preceded by a feature film with the same actors. I still remember going to our local theater with my dad to see the movie. I was so excited because he usually was a stickler about only seeing G-rated movies, and Buck Rogers, much like Star Wars before it, was rated PG. I wasn't sure why the old man decided to take me to it, but hey, I wasn't arguing. One of the actors in Buck Rogers was Erin Gray. In both the movie and the TV show, she portrayed Colonel Wilma Deering. Already a well-respected fashion model, this particular role was truly Gray's opportunity to make the jump from magazines and TV commercials and become a bona fide star. And Erin did such a great job in playing the role. Sure, as Wilma Deering, she was beautiful and sexy, but she was also a strong woman who didn't take crap from anyone, especially Gil Gerard's Buck Rogers. Because of the strong character that she played, Gray has always seen herself as something of a role model for young women. A few years ago she said this, "I inspired other women to be strong. It's a certain legacy that I have that I am honored to have been part of." On the TV show, Deering is clearly Buck Rogers' object of affection. However, from time to time, Pamela Hensley's Princess Ardala would make an appearance, and then she was relegated to the role of Space Girl Next Door. Much like the Marianne and Ginger debate, Wilma and the Princess, well, they both have their fans. One has to think that if you're in the Ginger camp, well, you're likely in the Ardala camp as well. As for me, I was always more fond of Marianne. So Buck Rogers ran for 2 seasons. So the second season was a retooling of the show where Buck and Wilma were traveling through the universe in their very own starship with a bird guy named Hawk. The scripts were more serious, and as a result, well, I'm going to say it, less fun. I talk about that second season in another video. I'll put a link at the end of this video to that one, just in case you're interested. But that first season, boy oh boy, was it something special, for oh so many reasons. Awesome special effects, wonderful, wonderful guest stars, and of course there was Tweaky. Yep, I know his head was shaped funny, I don't care. He was portrayed to perfection by actor Felix Silla, with vocal honors being done by the legendary Mel Blanc. This show had so much going for it. And Erin Gray, well, she was a big part of the show's formula for success. I really did love that show, so much so that I bought the novelizations and the comic book, which wasn't from DC or Marvel, but Gold Key instead. And yes, whenever possible, I would head on up to our local 7-Eleven and play the pinball machine, which was there for about 6 months. Anyway, getting back to Erin. After Buck Rogers, Erin found herself starring opposite Kenny Rogers, yes, the gambler himself, in a fun little movie called Six Pack. If you haven't seen this film, I bet you can almost figure out the plot just by looking at these photos. And yep, Erin was the love interest. So the next thing that I remember Erin in was that Ricky Schroeder sitcom Silver Spoons, which ran from 1982 until 1987. As I think back, I probably should have enjoyed this show more. It was, after all, the story of a man who cherished his youth and really didn't want to grow up. But truthfully, I wasn't all that big of a fan of that show. Still, Erin was in it, so I would watch it from time to time. And I also have to admit that I wasn't a huge fan of the Friday the 13th movies. I think I quit watching them after the second one. So I really can't comment on whether Erin was any good or not in the 9th film in that series. What I do know, or at least suspect, is that her character might not have fared all that well. That darn Jason Voorhees. Seriously, can't someone just make this monster go away for good? Anyway, here's what you need to know. Erin found steady work throughout the 90s in both TV and motion pictures. And she continues to find work even today. One of my favorite cameo roles of Erin's in recent years was when she made an appearance on the web series Star Trek Continues as Commodore Gray. So if you're a Star Trek fan and you haven't checked out Star Trek Continues, well, you really should. It is a wonderful fan-created web series that is an absolutely faithful recreation of the original Star Trek television series. I believe all of the episodes can be watched on YouTube. Aside from the different actors, who by the way are very good at capturing the spirit of Shatner, Nimoy, and Kelly, you'll swear that you were watching the original series. It's just that good. And speaking of web-based entertainment, both Gray and Gil Gerard returned to the world of Buck Rogers by playing his parents on a failed web series from a few years back. The project was never completed, but you can find that scene right there in the upper right-hand corner with both Gray and Gerard on YouTube. More recently, Erin has lent her talents to a Hallmark Channel original movie titled A Perfect Christmas. I've got to admit that I'm a sucker for this particular type of film. Sure, they are all pretty much carbon copies of each other, but hey, the formula works, at least for me. Fans wanting to connect with Erin in real time are likely to find her at various Comic-Cons and other events like that. From everything that I've heard, Erin is an absolute delight to visit with, and well worth standing in whatever line may have formed around her table. And every once in a while, these events allow Erin to reconnect with this wonderful friend. Yep, Mr. Gil Gerard himself. I love these two pictures side by side. Sure, the couple on the right is a little bit older, but you can see there's a comfortable warmth that really isn't there on the more staged photo on the left. One other thing worth mentioning, Erin's appearances at these events shouldn't come as much of a surprise because she is the CEO of a company called Heroes for Hire, where she helps celebrities connect with fans all over the world. Yep, the next time you hear that Tom Welling or LeVar Burton or Erin Gray is making an appearance at some sort of event, well, it's probably due to the efforts of Heroes for Hire. Alright, that's it. Let's wrap this thing up with a picture of both Wilma and Ardala. Who was your favorite, the Colonel or the Princess? Please share your memories in the comments section below, and while you're at it, why not subscribe to my YouTube channel? I talk about music, movies, and television, mostly from the 50s, 60s, 70s, and 80s. You know, the good stuff. But most importantly, and as always, thank you so much for watching.